Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gift Genius TV. I'm your host, Mr. Phil. Today, I'm going to continue on the topic success is a team sport, not a solo effort. This is going to be part 2 of this series. And just want to expand on the concept, go a bit deeper, and just make it clearer. Now, in part 1, I gave the example of someone who has the idea that they're going to start a restaurant, and another person has the idea of going into property. Another person has the idea of opening a supermarket, and how it is important that they see everything as linked. It's important that they see their success as linked, and it's important that they see their failure as linked. But unfortunately, we have been miseducated in so many levels that we don't actually realize that it is to our success to look out for those people around, for the success of those people around us. Usually what we see, and we just need to look at how people go about their business. They only look to succeed alone most of the time. Now, I'm not saying that some people have not tried, and to be honest, there have been so many instances where people have tried to help other people and they've been burnt. And what I'll say to that is this: I've learned over the years that the message of success, the message of working together, the message of paying the price to succeed is not for everybody. On the surface, it will look like everybody should be interested in it. On the surface, it will look like everybody should agree with everybody succeeding. On the surface, it will look like everybody should understand why we should be interested in everyone's success around us. But that is on the surface. When you look deep down, what I've found over the years is that it is not everybody's cup of tea. So, what I've learned over the years is that I expect only the few people that choose to resonate with this kind of outlook. Those are the people that this kind of message is for. This kind of message is not for everybody. So I appreciate that some people have, in their time, they've tried to help people around them and they got burnt. It happens over and over again. And what I would do is just encourage such people that in that instance, what you've found out is that that's not the right person. Let's be circumspect. Let's be wise in now looking and letting people choose themselves rather than we choose them. So one of the phrases that I always use is that success is for the few that choose, not for the chosen few. Especially in my network, in the Gift Genius network, success is for the few that choose, not for the chosen few. So I don't do the choosing. I let people step forward. I let people put their hands up. I let people, signify that they want to be part of this kind of philosophy and outlook. So having said that, let me continue. So in this philosophy, we believe that the restaurant guy and the property guy and the supermarket guy really should look to work together and work as a team. This is what we find happens in the Jewish community. This is what we find happen in the Chinese community. This is what we find happen in the Indian community. And it is so clear when you are in the UK. It might not be very clear in Africa, but it is glaring when you come to the UK that these people work together. That means that a Jewish man will never go to an African restaurant. You will never see a Jewish man in an African restaurant. Let me tell you another thing. You will not even ever see a Jewish man in a white supermarket. We have them here in London in Stamford Hill. And they have a way that they dress. And I bet you none of people that are in London have ever seen a Jewish man in Tesco. You've never seen a Jewish man in Aldi and all those things. They don't even patronize white people's establishment. They only go for Jewish businesses. The Jewish nation is probably one of the most richest community in the world right now. A Jewish man will never go to invest in property with anyone else but another Jewish man. So they are very tight. So that means that in our community, what that guy that is opening a restaurant needs to learn how to do is to be interested in supporting that guy that is looking to get into property. Maybe by investing with that guy in property, the little he can. And even if he cannot do it himself, he can look for people within his network that will support that guy in property, because you see, that guy in property will need so much capital to get into the game. Especially in the UK, when we Africans want to get into the property game, we're going into the property game usually alone. But we're going into the property game with Indians that come as a group. We're going into property games with Chinese that come as a group. We're coming to property games with Jewish, English, everybody comes as a group. Only the African man comes alone. And guess what? They will kick him aside. What money has he got? And when the African man looks at his community, no one in his community supports him. Can you all see how easy it is to see the tragedy here? Everybody supports their own, but us, black people. And I'm not saying just black people in the UK. It is around the world. It is the sentiment of many years of miseducation that the white supremacy establishment that they've educated us in believing that as long as you have your degree, as long as you have your job, don't care about anything else. As long as you're okay, don't care about anybody else. And with that kind of miseducation, they have weakened us to the point of ridiculousness right now. We have absolutely no infrastructure to say nothing of. It doesn't even stop there. They don't even share information with us anymore. Let me give you an example. In the UK right now, whenever I look at any construction company, I hardly see any black person there. That means that we are not even learning how to do things anymore. They're not even allowing us. Because in the UK now, the Polish people are here. Most people in Europe are here. So in the UK right now, they actually prefer to employ someone that looks like them, even though they may not be speaking English. So the black man in the UK has been relegated to the bottom of the bottom of the bottom of everything. So we're not even being taught in construction anymore. We're not even being taught in electronics, it's, if you see a black man, they're there, but they're very rare. So before anyone says, oh, Mr. Phil, I saw one black man. Yeah, you saw one black man versus how many white people? And usually, even if you see black men in construction in the UK, they're usually there for labor. Carry this from here to there, sweep this, do that. They're not the head foreman. They're not, so again, slowly, and we're quiet about this, but we don't even, not that we're quiet, it's like we're ignorant about this, that we don't even know that they're slowly bleeding information and knowledge out of our community by doing this. Honestly, when I see a black man nowadays into plumbing, into bricklaying in the UK, I am very happy, because those people are the custodians of practical knowledge. Listen to what I said. Practical knowledge. Not your degree in history, not your degree in human sciences, not your degree in banking, not your degree. None of that can build anything. All those things will rely on you going for a job in a white man's structure. Doesn't teach you how to build anything from scratch. By the way, when you look at the so-called education that they give in Africa, for over a century, it's the so-called education only allows you or makes you able to work within their structure. So once the structure is there, created by the white man, yes, of course, you can go and work for him. but they don't teach you how to start your own. You know why? Because if you start your own, you become their competition, and they're not about to train their competition. But guess what? They didn't train the Chinese either. They didn't train the Japanese either. They didn't train the Indians either. But guess what? Those communities quickly learned what was going on. So what happened? Let me give you, maybe the Chinese will be the best example. When I was in the UK in the 90s, I used to see Chinese everywhere you go. You know, they're taking pictures, snap this, snap that. I used to wonder, why are these Chinese taking so much pictures? They come into a shop, take a picture. They come into there, take a picture. They come there. They were, it looks like the whole nation of the Chinese, they had nothing else but cameras. And they were just snapping, snapping that, snap. We didn't know what they were doing. But later on, slowly but surely, we started seeing Chinese made this, Chinese made that. Although, yeah, they were not good, but they were at least making something. You know what they were doing? They were reverse engineering everything. So when they were snapping, they were taking notes. They were taking surveillance. They knew the white man is not going to teach them. So what did they do? They will buy stuff. They will even buy their private jets from UK and America, and they will reverse engineer that private jet. They will learn how it works. Now they're now producing now. Now they've become a superpower. So Africans, we need to wake up as well to realize that these Chinese that are going around, a few years ago, they didn't have nothing. Japanese. Oh, don't even let me talk about Japanese. But let me just come back to the point I'm making in this video. The point I'm making is this. Every other community understands the power of working together. So let me go back to the restaurant guy, the property guy, and the supermarket guy. So what happens is that the restaurant guy should realize that it's in his best interest to buy all the produce he needs in his restaurant from the guy that owns the supermarket. They should be in a network. What did I say? They should be in a network. But what happens nowadays? They won't do that. The supermarket guy will go and buy from a white guy, and then they will expect people from his community to come and buy from him. The property guy will go into property alone, yeah, just for himself, and then he will wonder why he is not able to make headways in that industry. And the restaurant guy will be wondering why no one is coming to his restaurant, when all the time all they needed to do was build a network. And within that network, everybody knows that the value is let's support ourselves first. Okay, so the guy that owns a restaurant will be interested in helping the guy that has the property, look for tenants. People come to his restaurant, they ask for tenants. Oh yeah, I know somebody. Boom, he refers them to the person in his network first. And another value that is very important is that they need to be all committed to providing the best value that they can. That's another place that we fall short. We say, oh, because I'm a black business, you should patronize me. And then this black business forgets to provide value. So it's both ways that we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible to patronize people in our community and in our network. But beyond that, those people that we're patronizing too has a responsibility to provide us with real value. And they have to be committed to providing real value for the patronage that we're giving them. So it works together. Okay, I may do a part 3 to this because I didn't even think that there'll be so much to unpack here, but there is. So I may actually do a part 3 to this. On that note, this is Mr. Phil signing off for now. I'll make a part 3. God bless. Speak to you later.